Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. Hope you're doing well today. It's been a while, I do apologise for that, but I'm back with a review. I'm at work, it's quiet today, I don't open for another couple of hours. I've done pretty much all the errands that need to be done in prep for opening, so I thought I'd take this moment to get a beer review in, and I'm going to be reviewing an IPA from Hackney Church Brewery, and this is a can of their Superfly West Coast IPA coming in at 6% ABV. The artwork on that is incredible, I'm sure you would agree. Loving that, the stained glass theme runs through most of their beers, hence the name Hackney Church. I was at London Craft Beer Festival a week ago, and I was there with Abby and Mark from the Craft Beer Hub and Chris from Chris's Beer Reviews, and we sat in on one of the tastings that they were doing, and we were listening to I think his name was Jacob. I think it was the head brewer of Hackney Church. If I got that wrong, I do apologise if anyone from Hackney Church sees this. And we did a tasting session, and we got to try, I think it was 4 different beers. It was either 3 or 4. There was a lager, there was a raspberry stout. I think there was the 3. It was the lager, the stout, and this, the West Coast IPA. And after the tasting and the talk, he kindly gave us a can. As I said, I'd love to have a go on it. And the talk itself was hosted by one of the chaps who runs the craft beer channel, the big one. I've forgotten the name of it. I've not done my research going into this video. I'm forgetting everyone's names, which isn't good. But yeah, I'm going to get to it. So 6% West Coast IPA. It says, a modern West Coast IPA, easy but assertive bitterness, provides the perfect resting place for layers of pine, tropical fruit to conjure dreams of the California sunset. Brewed and canned by Hackney Church Brew in Hackney Central, Bohemia Place, Hackney in London. So yeah, I need to get down there, have a look at their tap room. Like I say, we tried a few different beers from them the other day, and I enjoyed all of them. There was like a really easy drinking kind of floral sort of nature to all of them, which I quite liked. So here is this West Coast IPA. It's got a lovely hazy kind of marmalade-y sort of colour to it. Looks the part, certainly looks like a Westie. Good carbonation on it, loads of life on that. Mushing up the glass. It's maintaining a creamy looking head. Let's get me snouting, see what the aroma's telling us. That's lovely. It's got that lovely combination of sort of citrus, a touch of tropical aroma, the pininess that you want from a good West Coast IPA. And that kind of sort of pininess reminds me of a sort of a subtle yeasty aroma, almost like a touch of Marmite. So I love Marmite and I love West Coast IPAs, which is probably why they appeal, because that pininess reminds me of Marmite, always has done. Slightly floral, slightly fruity. Big piney aroma. Just get stuck in, shall we? Cheers. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's really good. It's better than what I remember, actually. To be fair, we were drinking smaller measures and they weren't very cold. I think the cans have been out of the fridge for a while, so we were drinking them quite warm, which was a bit of a shame. This has been in the fridge, it's nice and cold. It's not too cold though, not ice cold, but nice and cold. You can see, the condensation on the glass there. It's cold enough. Lovely body to it. It's obviously quite a considerable malt bill to it. Really coats the palate, really piney, good levels of carbonation. It's juicy. It's like an orangey, almost like a marmalade-y thing. It's like a slightly jammy sort of sweetness going on with it. It's piney. It's bitter, but not overly so. Not overly so. There is a bitterness to it, but it's pleasant. And it's what I remember last week from the majority of these Hackney Church beers. They're all very drinkable, all really approachable. I was drinking a lager, and I was adamant that it was going to be like a 4% beer. And then he told me it was like more than 5%. Couldn't believe it. There's a drinkability about these Hackney Church beers, and this is another one. It is fruity. It is thirst quenching. It's full-bodied, piney. There's the bitterness. It covers all bases that you want from a good West Coast IPA. It's extremely drinkable. And again, there is that touch of sweetness, that almost floral note. There seems to be like a sort of a floral backbone to everything that Hackney Church do. And it makes these beers very approachable, very drinkable. This is a 6% West Coast IPA, but I mean, this could easily be mistaken for a 5.2, something like that. It drinks like a sessionable West Coast IPA. I mean, can's empty. I'm gonna drink all of this. It looks the part, it smells the part. I've just chucked the last bit of the can in. See if that's done anything to the aroma. Oh, it's got a glorious nose on it, it really has. It does everything you want a good West Coast IPA to do. It's lovely. That piney, yeasty, marmaladey, citrusy, slightly tropical aroma. It's cracking. Yeah, that's wonderful. I've got no complaints with that whatsoever. I love the malt bill. I love the mouthfeel, the body on it. It really coats your palate. That is sometimes where West Coast IPAs can go wrong, when they're too thin. So West Coast Pales, I suppose that's the main difference between the two styles. You often get West Coast Pales that are just a little bit too thin. And the hop and the pininess and the bitterness just doesn't quite go hand in hand with how it feels on your palate. This is almost creamy. It's really soft, really drinkable, glides down. The pininess and the bittiness is kind of wrapped up in like a pillow of smoothness. I'm talking waffle at this stage. This is just a glorious beer. That's a great West Coast IPA. No complaints. Superfly, West Coast IPA, recently won an award, the European Beer Challenge Gold Medal in London. I've got no issues with that. It's a cracking beer. Love the artwork. Really enjoyed the chat with Hackney Church last week. Really good. Superfly West Coast IPA, 6% ABV. Really recommend that one. A score for what it's worth. I've got no complaints with it. No complaints with that whatsoever. I'm happy to give that a solid 9 out of 10. I think that's a cracking beer. Hackney Church, Superfly, West Coast IPA. There's the can one more time. 9 out of 10 for me. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Until my next one, you take care.